Hi everyone, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. And this is me, Oberon, with my outlook on the emotional exchanges. And it's my weekly program on Friday mornings where I kind of go over the idea for the emotional life that you will be facing in the week ahead, whether there are certain challenges or where it's all going to. So to do that, I'm doing the reading from the Ancient Egypt Tarot by Clive Barrett. I used to use it on the earliest iteration of the emotional exchanges. I love Egyptian themed things. So we're going to get going, but there's a basic idea about the reading. The first card represents that energy or that general feeling that's coming right now. So we're going to do that, and I'm just going to shuffle these a little bit more. Also, I'm doing this for the elemental signs of the zodiac, so it'll be a 3-card reading for each air, fire, water, earth signs. And then at the end for each sign or each element, I'm also going to do an enchantment or affirmation, if you wish, from the Enchanted Tarot by our good folks Amy Zerner and Monte Farber. It's very old in our collection, but we love using it. They have a lot of fine products, so you should check them out. I used to be on Facebook with them at another location, but I'm currently not affiliated with them in Facebook. They always got something great going on. Great card readers, great astrologers. Anyways, here we go. So this is for the air signs, and that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And as I said, the first card relates to the concept of what is generally the vibration that's coming to you right now. What is the emotional situation that seems to be coming to you? It's the reversed King of Wands. I think I have too much glare there. That's my perpetual problem. Oh, that looks so much better, I think. So what could be coming towards you? It feels like somebody who is maybe overly strident, overly pushy, overly aggressive, or it's not the person, it could be the situation. This could be saying things make you feel like really lashing out a little bit in some ways, or maybe acting out in certain ways. There's a lot of energy here that seems to just be wrongfully deployed. I guess that's a nice way to put it. Why is this important? That's our second card. Why is this important? And it's the reversed Three of Cups. So I'm wondering if this is over some sort of heartbreak, some sort of situation where maybe an event that would signify, coupling, a marriage, an engagement party, or just a relationship is having a problem, is not working out. The emotions are really unflattering to the situation. I get the feeling like for the air signs that maybe there is sort of a dissension going on between major factors with people on either side, and it seems to be divided between who knows who in the relationship. Now, if this doesn't exactly apply, then the overall situation may be about just how persons who don't really mesh with friends. I mean, if you are somebody who doesn't have a relationship, maybe this is saying something else. It could be talking about how you interact in a friendship way. You may have friends, but maybe there's something that sort of doesn't hold you together with them in the same way other people's relationships might. maybe I'm floundering a little bit there. Let's see what the third card says. The third card says, where is this leading to? And it's another 3. It's a 3 of discs. It's upright. So the 3 of discs upright says this is leading to maybe a collaboration that's based more on other things than emotional resonance. You can literally almost see that why it's important is that emotional resonance between people seems to be off kilter or moving into something different, and that's what it is. It's leading towards this idea that people are having more functional relationships, perhaps that would be a way of looking at it. Relationships based on certain physical realities and less to do with emotional situations. So that's it for the air signs. And if I would overall sum it up, whether you're in a relationship or in a circle of close friends or family, there's some sort of bad acting going on, and it's leading to these other situations where maybe people change their relationship with you or with other people that are important in this overall periphery, from more emotional moving to frayed towards more functional. So it's good in the sense that maybe we're not becoming outright enemies, but it may be that, nature of relationships has really changed. So I want to do the enchantment that I mentioned with that in mind. And as I mentioned, I'm using the Enchanted Tarot by Zerner and Farber, Amy Zerner and Monte Farber. It's this humongously wide deck, but I love it because their work is just beautiful and enchanting, dare I say. And I'm just going to kind of spread them out a little bit and pick one. Wow! It's the King of Wands again. Of course, in this iteration, he is upright. So I'm going to go to the actual book, and it's a beautiful book. It's kind of divided up in all the normal ways. Well, in terms of the reading, there are 3 parts to each reading. There's a dream, which sort of signifies the overall impressions from the card, what it means, because they're just beautiful, complex imagery overlayered. The art is beautiful. There's the awakening, which is what is that actual message you want to distill from this. And then there's the enchantment. And the enchantment suggests affirmations or spells or ceremonies you can do to kind of bring out that energy. So this is from the enchantment for the King of Wands, which I've just pulled. Reward yourself by going out in the countryside when the sun is at its peak. If it is wintertime, then sit by a window where the sun's light shines through. Feel the energy of its rays, the source of all life. Engage in a recreation that you are skilled in, perhaps playing with a member of your family before you begin. Think of the King of Wands and the qualities that make him who he is. He will give you the energy and ability to do your best and enjoy your accomplishments as royalty should. Whoops. And so I leave you with the thought, air signs, that in order to counteract this energy of the bad King of Wands, the reverse King of Wands, the possible bully-like behavior, you need to kind of move into the direction of the enchantment to sort of reward yourself, be reflective, participate in things that warm you, and turn your energies towards a better. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the fire signs. There was a lot of fire in that last reading, I have to admit. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This one's for you. So we're back to the Ancient Egypt Tarot by Clive Barrett. And we're looking at what's going on for the fire signs in this week ahead. It's kind of dramatic there for the air signs. Let's see how fire signs warm up the emotional atmosphere. And so once again, our first card represents that kind of emotional vibration or resonance that is coming to fire signs at this time. Ooh, I had but to ask, right? It is the actual Lovers card of this tarot. It's upright. So the vibration that's coming suggests that there's choices right now. Choices in terms of things that really bring us pleasure, bring us emotional feelings. So this could be choices about doing the things we love or being with the people we love, or maybe other choices that are similar but are not exactly the same. And so the idea would be we have to really consider what our choices are. We feel great pleasure or emotionality from either of them, but there is a reason why they're different. So card 2 represents why this is important, which is of course what I think that means, and it's the reversed 10 of discs. So why is this important? There could be something going on that really destabilizes security or financial or economic situations, especially as they pertain to the family or to your foundational status. Maybe it's not a family per se, biologically speaking. It could be something else. So I'm wondering, I'm getting the picture that with the Lovers upright here and the idea of a choice coming to you, this choice may change your status quo in your family or your circle or your situation. And it may be an important change then, because why is it important? Because it really maybe destabilizes or ultimately really changes security for the most part. I mean, so I could imagine that this is like saying, it's a Romeo and Juliet situation, stay away from that boy, but you want that boy or girl or whoever it is, and doing so kind of pits you against your status quo. It's sad to say, but this is still really what happens in a lot of relationships. So it's no surprise it's happening with the fire signs. They tend to really speak out for themselves and don't want someone else to tell them, they're wrong or what they can do, but there may be consequences. So that was why it's important. Where is this leading to? It's the Three of Swords. And it's upright. And the Three of Swords, of course, is about separations and heartache. And so, fire signs, this is really important here, that this choice could ultimately lead towards a real big change with other relationships or with the relationship in consideration. If it's not about a relationship per se, like I mentioned in the first card, it could be about something that just really brings a lot of happiness. Maybe, because of the pressure of other people wanting you to conform to their standard and you don't, then there's just other consequences, and maybe you won't feel like how you wanted to move towards that happiness or check out that thing that seemed ultimately happier was better. So I don't know if this is like, fire sign stubbornness. They can be pretty stubborn like earth signs in a way. It is kind of a little bit foreboding. All right, now I want to do the Enchanted Tarot and see if there's an enchantment here that can help out our fire sign friends with what's going on. Okay, Once again, I'm using the Amy Zerner Monte Farber, Enchanted Tarot. It's recently had its 25th anniversary. We've had it that long, actually. And there was a new edition of it. Some slight changes here or there. There might have even been a couple of new cards. I'm trying to remember. And of course, nothing's happening. That's what happens when you get old. But Banshee and me have always loved Amy and Monty's work. So if you're out there, we love you guys. Thank you very much. And for the fire signs, the enchantment is the moon. Major Arcana 18. The enchantment. And of course, like I mentioned, the book is fabulous for having so many things to do with these cards that are meditative, spell-like, affirmation-like. So the enchantment says, outside under a waning moon, and of course we just passed the full moon, so the moon is now waning for the next 2 weeks or so. Visualize a circle of protective light around yourself as you stand by a body of water. Hold a black stone in your hands. Concentrate and project a specific personal fear into the stone. Then strongly hurl it out of your circle of light into the pond, lake, stream, or ocean as you chant. With this stone, fear be banished. Into water, it has vanished. And I really like this, fire signs, because, as a very young Wiccan witch back in the mid-70s when I was late teens or so, I remember that. My parents had a house on the side of a small lake near Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I did that myself. Intuitively, I just remember at the time I said, as long as this stone stays in the water, I will never really hurt someone I love. And then I did that. I hurled it into the water. And of course, I'm sure it's never come out. So I don't know if that was my first real big spell. I had done some other things before that. I was probably about 16 or maybe 17. Oh well, enough about me, more about me, because we now move on to the water signs. And of course, water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, and I am a Scorpio. So let's get cracking with that one. Scorpios, like Pisces and Cancer, are very emotional in and of themselves. Let's see what's washing their way, what's coming up, what tides are washing in. First card, what is actually the emotional resonance or situation or whatever coming towards you? It's the reversed Princess of Discs, and that's the Page of Discs. So the reversed Princess of Discs says, there's a lot of uninspiring things that seem to be happening. There's a lot of things that feel disconcerting, but not in a specific way. You just don't feel as interested in pursuing knowledge at this time, or feeling attracted to esoterics in certain ways. Maybe the quality of universal love, let's call it that, perhaps. So there's just sort of a downtime right now around the water signs, where maybe they're wondering where their values really are or are for them. Why is this important? Well, of course, it's the King of Cups upright. It's important because the water signs probably are preeminently very much hard on their sleeve personalities. They're not always super benevolent, beneficial type personalities, that's what I was trying to say, like the card can suggest, counselor, loving, giving person. But this says that maybe this is an opportunity to be that, to sort of take our somber or morose nature at this time and think about how we can kind of still look for ways to be kind and benevolent and helpful to other people who maybe we can't help. If we can't help ourselves from our feelings of despondency, maybe we can still help others, and that in return would be helpful. A lot of helpful there. Okay, so then that was why it's important. This is where it's leading to. Of course, the High Priestess. And, water signs are pretty intuitive. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, they have some deep wells within them that they can dive into. Maybe it's a little easier than other signs. Maybe it's about the same, but the idea is that to some degree, water signs, this is what you need to do. You really need to take the time to analyze all this. There's some inner wisdom there that maybe would be very helpful to you at this time, and maybe you just really need to reawaken whatever spiritual affirmation, shadow work kind of stuff you're doing at this time, to get out those cosmic blues. And now we're going to do the Zerner Farber enchantment. And my fingers are so old anymore. When I was younger, this was still a task to do these cards. Oh, you guys, I love you, but these cards are just really hard for my fingers to get a good grasp on. I think the new deck is maybe slightly smaller, or there may be a version of the Enchanted Tarot that's just a little bit tinier. They have a lot of other great works too, and we own a number of them. All right, what is the enchantment for the water signs? Aww. Ace of Hearts. Look at that. That's such a beautiful card. I love this Ace of Hearts. And of course, the Ace of Hearts is like cups. If you didn't know that, you'd know it now. So I like that. That's another thing I like about the Enchanted Tarot. Hearts is cups, obviously. To attract love, light a purple candle at the time of the new moon. So that'll be in not quite 2 weeks. Place a full cup of water nearby. Light a stick of rose or jasmine incense. Look at this card, the Ace of Hearts, and say, as I look upon this joyful, open heart, I feel the new beginnings of love and happiness flowing through me. Be aware of how you give love and how you receive love. And I like that. I think that's kind of cosmic enough for the water signs who maybe, like I said, are going through this sort of morose period. Maybe this is just a time for more introspection. And yeah, maybe if, the spell could actually apply in different ways to people who aren't necessarily looking for a love person, but maybe another kind of love to come to them. So remember, it's always about our intention. That's why I consider this an affirmation too. And of course, now we are finally on to the earth signs. And this has been an extra long session of my outlook on emotional exchanges, because I did basically 4 cards for each person and some amount of reading. So earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, steadfast, kind of reserved in the display of emotions, but not always. What is that quality, emotional, happy thing, whatever that's coming to you. And it's the Knight of Cups. And it is coming to you because, of course, knights, it's called a prince here, but it is the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, all the knights are comings and goings of matter. And when they're upright, I tend to look at them, as positive. And I think right now there is a quality of something you love coming towards you, or of the atmosphere of loving vibrations really being kind of manifest all around you at this time. So maybe if you are interested in romance, it's feasible. If you're already in a relationship, maybe things are magnifying at this time. Why is this important? The Three of Cups. So maybe for some earth signs, there is a real coming together here. Maybe there are marriages, engagements, handfastings, couplings of various sorts coming into being. Now, if none of this really applies because you aren't in a relationship, or you don't see a relationship happening, this could be a different kind of marriage, a different kind of coupling. It certainly is about you, and it certainly is about what you love or really appreciate. And then finally, where is this leading to? I like it. It's justice. It's leading towards justice. And of course, once again, that could be a legal thing. So this could be saying there are, legal arrangements being made in people's relationships. But if it is really not about people and relationships, maybe what you love or what you are working on coupling with does need to have some sort of decision occur. It may not be a legal decision. It's probably your decision or something involved with it that pretty much standardizes what this is. So off the top of my head, it's hard for me to imagine what that is. Maybe it's the notice or a claim coming from some sort of group or agency that admires the work you do, like you're a flower arranger, or, you create something beautiful. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It just sort of sounds a little bit vague in a way. But let's do our enchantment for the earth signs. Once again with the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner and Monte Farber. Always love using this deck. I did use it too in the previous iteration where we did some affirmation work during Super Tarot Love Week or Super Tarot Love Month. And I'm just going to pick it at random. And I will always read them upright for this purpose. So we have the Nine of Hearts, the Nine of Cups. And that's considered to be the wish card in most standard tarots. I think it is too here. Fulfillment. In the dark of a waning moon, hold a heart-shaped piece of glass, metal, or stone to your breast, and think of your wish. Chant these words: heart light, heart bright, what I desire feels so right. I wish I may, I wish I might, have this wish come true tonight. And boy, I love that one. And of course, who wouldn't? And I think we were recently, not here maybe, but somewhere on Facebook or somewhere, in a conversation about wishes, wish magic. So I think that's a nice way to end for the earth signs. But for anybody, any of these spells or enchantments, of course, you can do them. Hey, go out and get the book and set of cards. They're wonderful handbook for affirmative work and powerful life enhancing love work, I highly recommend the Enchanted Tarot. And that's it for my outlook on the emotional exchanges. I'm very happy you came here. I hope you got something good out of all of our extra enchantment work. I'll see you next time.